Today I'm going to walk you through a ads pipeline intelligence dashboard. It is a custom dashboard that you can build in 30 minutes that brings in data from every platform that you use. Maybe you use Go High Level plus Meta Ads, maybe you use Meta Ads plus Shopify, or Meta Ads plus Amazon. It will also give you ideas for your next ad creatives and next ad campaigns to set them up in a way that matches your previous results. So it takes all the data, the lifetime data of your ads, recommends the best ad creatives, the ad video ideas, and the angles to go for your next ad campaigns. I'll walk you through what a dashboard could look like. Of course, we will be using just demo data for the time being. And basically you have these three main tabs. Obviously, again, this is custom, so you can really go crazy and add 10. But for the sake of the demonstration, you have three main ones. You have the overview, you have the pipeline, and you have the insights. So starting off with the overview, obviously the spend, the amount of leads, the cost per lead, all comes from Meta, right? For you, this use case. How many are qualified, and let's say how many actually booked a call and how many actually closed. That data is all pulled from Go High Level. Now, obviously this is a very brief overview of the different ads and how they are doing compared to each other, but where it gets interesting is when you open the pipeline. So here you have the overall conversion rate. Again, you can filter it by day or all time, and like I said, because it's custom, you can add 25 days, you can add 20 days. So if we scroll down here a little, we see obviously the average click-through rate, how many is qualified, how many booked a call from the qualified. But if we go down here a bit more, what's nice about this is that you can actually filter by ad creative. So what you see, for example, here is that this data came from Meta, this data came from Meta, but then for the qualified and how many booked calls, this actually came through Go High Level. So some teams, they have many people book a call, but perhaps after booking a call, you can add one here which is actually qualified or qualified for a second call, or perhaps closed even. So this can help you map out everything because it pulls data, like I said, from any platform you use. Same goes with Shopify. So if you use Shopify, it could be add to carts, it could be closes, all that data could be tracked here. And then obviously you can compare them to each other. So if we go down here, for example, you have this one where it had 60% qualified, 40% booked call, but then here there's like or maybe here, for example, there is a lower qualified percentage, but a higher booked call percentage. So then if we scroll down a bit more, obviously there's also per campaign. So if you want to compare the two multiple campaigns against each other. And the last thing that I have here is the insights. So since we're using Claude as the brain of all of this, and it is the thing that is pulling all the data in, we can actually have it give us very interesting insights. So I think this is probably one of the more useful use cases. So for example, if we look at here, so we have the cold traffic winner. So what does best for cold traffic? Right now it's video creative. On average, it's $34 per qualified versus 78, which is what the static is giving us. And so obviously for cold traffic right now, video might be better. For the best creative of all time, this is the best one. The strongest angle is urgency. So again, how does it know that? It looks at all the statics, so it reads every static. It looks at the actual video, so it transcribes the video and reads that video, which you will see in a second how it kind of formulates hook ideas based on that. And then we have the most efficient campaign, which is a retargeting campaign. So here we have the video versus static kind of format. Obviously, if you are a e-com agency, you might have carousels as well, so there will be a carousel one here. You scroll down a bit more, there are the different angles. So again, how does it know that? It knows that because it looks at every video, it looks at every static. So here we have UGC testimonials are better than, the ones with urgency ones are better than the social proof ones, that are better than the UGC one, etc. So if we keep scrolling down, again, this data, you might be able to pull through Go High Level, but it's so much harder to get through, and you have to actually look at every single ad and determine what is doing better and why is it doing better. So if you scroll down a bit more here, we have every creative ranked by cost per call. Obviously, this is also pretty cool. You just know okay, the urgency one is getting me this much, etc. So let's just keep scrolling. Here we have what the data is telling us. So for example, if you look at the first one, it says in cold prospecting, video beats static. So this one we already know. Retargeting statics are the efficiency floor. Best single creative is this. So for example, if we look at here, it tells you that the story-led video is what resonates with the cold Texas audience, right? Okay, so recommended next moves, obviously it uses all that data. That's today's. You can use the 7-day one or the all-time one, but it uses all the data from today, or let's say the 7 days one. Scroll down here. It uses all the data from the past 7 days and recommends what your next steps should be. You should probably scale this one, spin up 2 to 3 variants for this one, etc. So let's scroll down to the last section, which is the video concepts. Okay, so every piece of information that it had, what it recommends is that you do a video, for example, that targets Houston. It's a cold audience concept, and the hook is this. Now, again, how did it come up with the hook? It came up with the hook based on every video ad that it has seen before from your ad roster. Again, same thing here. It gave you a video concept, and for the sake of the demonstration, we do only have 2 video concepts. Theoretically speaking, you can have 10 or 20, which you can pick through. And then if you scroll down, same thing with statics, right? We have one idea, we have the second idea with the visuals as well. Of course, you can pause the video here if you want to read through every single one, but I'm going to show you how you can actually build it yourself. But just really quick so you understand how this works. Basically, we have Claude. Under Claude, we have the ability to access Meta, right? And one thing I should say is that because it has the ability to access Meta ads, it can actually pull a lot more data than the demo I just showed you. So technically, let's say it pulls in CTR, it pulls in, let's say, retention rates, right? It pulls in the hook percentage, for example. So all this data, it could potentially be pulling in, but it's not right now, obviously for the demo, but theoretically you could have it pull it in. And then it also takes data from, let's say, Go High Level or whatever platform you use. It pulls in data from Shopify if you're an e-com store. And then based on everything that it has a bunch of skill files, right? So it knows about you, it knows about your business, it knows about how to write ads, it knows all these different skill files. It knows the best possible, it understands Facebook, understands Andromeda, etc. It takes all that data and then obviously creates you this dashboard that is custom made to you and your business. So we have this dashboard, and you can have 10 different things here with all the data that you want. And obviously, because we are using Claude here, we can leverage Claude's brain to do whatever the hell we want, right? If we wanted to give us more insights, if we wanted to spin up new ad creatives, we can do that. I've shared that in a different video. But technically, you have the power of Claude, right? Because that's where you're putting all your context. This Claude will understand everything about your ads since you started until now, whether that be for you, obviously, or your clients. Okay, so how does this work? So I have the Claude app here. We go into the co-work section, and what I do is I basically say ads pipeline setup. This is a file that I'll go through in a second, but I will be giving you access to it, right? So if I were to open this up, basically have the ads pipeline setup skill here that basically goes through everything, right? This skill file tells it exactly how to help us set this ads pipeline setup, and it will ask us a bunch of questions essentially. So here it goes with the questions. So where does your lead data live? Is it Go High Level, Airtable, Base Rows, CSV, a CSV file? So I'll just say Google Sheet for now. Where does your ad spend go? Is it Meta? Is it Google Ads, TikTok ads? I'll just say Google Ads. And now we're just gonna go to a series of back and forth. So it understands fully what I do what I do, and understands what my business model is. So here it asks me for the funnel stages. Obviously we can say everything, let's say number 1, right? We wanna see last 7 days. And just so you know, the reason why this could work very well is because you're giving Claude a lot of context. A lot of people, they mistaken AI as being this magic pill, right? It's as good as the context you give it. So you give it everything about your business, and you give it as much data as possible, it will give you good outputs. But if you just go to chat right now and tell it, give me an ad idea for a e-com product, right? it's the value that you're going to get out of it is very, very low. Like for example, look at this. Sorry, an ad idea. So whatever ad idea it gives us now, I doubt it's going to be nearly as good as if you were going to personally give it all the data that you have for your meta, and then obviously tell it to spin up a concept. So here it asks us for the niche name, it asks us what the columns are and the statuses in the Google Sheet, and then it also asks us for the Google Ads access. So one thing I do want to note is that you're going to get an option to just like export stuff from Google Ads and put it in here, or you can give it API credentials directly. I highly recommend that you go down the API credential route. It's going to be a bit more setup on your end, but if you go down the API credential route, you can constantly just have it be automatic. Every morning, it update your dashboard automatically. You're not going to have to go every morning and export that CSV to put it in. Okay, while it creates my dashboard, what I'm going to ask it to do is, obviously this is just skipping ahead, assuming that it's already done the dashboard correctly. What I'll say is the following. Please set up a daily morning, probably like 5 a.m. task where every morning you go out, you pull the latest data from my ads provider, which is Google Ads, and then you also do the same thing with my Google Sheet, just so every morning when I open this up, it's always up to date. So obviously this prompt is pretty self-explanatory, but what you do here is every morning at 5 a.m. after I send this, obviously, what it will do is it will go out, get the data from Google Ads, get data from Google Sheet, and then populate all that into the dashboard. So the dashboard is always up to date. One thing to note here is that your laptop or your computer has to be turned on for this to run. If it isn't, then when you turn on the laptop, it will just auto run and catch up on the previous runs. Okay, it just finished up, so I'm gonna open this up in my browser, but in the meantime, I'm gonna send it that message. So let me just pull up the dashboard real quick that it spun up for me. So we have this. Okay, let's take a look. So first off, we have basically, okay, I mean, it looks pretty good. Obviously this is using just example data again. In a realistically, it's gonna take a longer time than this because it has to double check that all your credentials are correct. It's gonna go back and forth with you to make sure that everything is set up correctly. And so here we have the pipeline and the insights. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. And same idea here, if you theoretically want to add more data in, you can just tell it, can you add another tab that discusses blah, 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 or maybe can you also add like a fifth kind of headline takeaway for my dashboard. Okay, so pretty quickly, it told me to schedule. So I sent it this, and then it said schedule task, daily 5 a.m. refresh of the dental clinic, ads pipeline, Google Ads plus Google Sheet, right? So if we look at the detail, it basically has, I mean, before I click schedule here, this is exactly the prompt that it tells itself. So open up the schedule here, and this is where it lives. Every morning at 5 a.m., it will send itself this data, this information. And this is a self-written prompt that it wrote itself, but essentially it will run exactly how we're meant to. So for example, pull the latest ad spend plus creative from Google Ads, pull the latest leads from the users published Google Sheet CSV, and we can technically run it now if you want to like kind of have it populate now, just to give you what that looks like. So if you were to view this, yeah, so run and schedule tasks. Right now it's running on that prompt that we have, and it's just gonna go through and act as if, you know, it's pulling the data and then uploading that data into dashboard. So just really quick before I forget, just to set everything up, what you do is you open this up, right? This is where all the skill stuff lives. You take this and you import it here, right? So always allow, and then this is the folder that works in. And then you can say, turn this folder into a skill, send this, and then it will actually read through the folder and then tell you how to basically give you a button to add it as a skill. I'll show you that in a second. There's obviously other ways to add skills. Just for this use case, we'll use this example. But just for the sake of simplicity, we'll use this method. And there you go. It gave you this file here where all you do is you click save skill, and then you click on done basically. Here it says upload and replace. So if I click on upload and replace, it just says, yeah, skill saved. So then all you have to do is you go to new task and then you click on this. That's it, you're good to go. So yeah, I hope this was pretty simple to follow. And again, I will leave the skill file down in the description below. And yeah, that's about it. See ya.